it's not too bad. Okay, I've had worse. I can deal with it, honestly. Morning world, and welcome to Thursday 2nd of February. Another pleasant, nice, dry day. You already know what happened yesterday, and I'll apologise now for the slightly fruity language that I may or may not have left. I haven't edited it yet, but I'm considering leaving the fruity language in there just to emphasise the fact that it actually really hurt quite a lot. Yeah, my little toe. Is it actually broken? I don't know. I haven't gone to hospital, I haven't had it x-rayed, so I'll never really know. Do I think it's broken? I think it is. But I don't think it's broken bad. I think it's just swollen and painful. And before anybody says anything, yes, I'm wearing exactly the same boots now that I was wearing yesterday when I broke my toe. And that's not because I'm being stupid about it, it's because it's the only boots I can get on. I can't actually get my foot in my other boots. Well, I can, but it's so bloody painful, I can't walk in them. So I'm afraid that, yeah, I'm still in the silly boots. So try not to do another toe. What's all the noise about then, you, eh? What's all the bellowing around? Hey? Okay, so a couple of jobs need to get sorted out today. Preparation for tomorrow. Tomorrow is, we've got Sam the vet coming tomorrow to do our castrate and dehorning on these little fellas, boys and girls. So I need to have the place set up for that now. The timetable's been moved on that. As I thought he was coming late afternoon, now he's coming early afternoon, so I've got to be ready from kind of midday on, which isn't too bad. So I think the aim this morning is to get both of those two bottom loose box pens cleaned out today, as in all the bedding out, because we're going to have very, very hot, burny stuff going on in there, and I don't want anything to catch fire. So that's going to be one of the tasks this morning, is to get that ready. I need to get the head crate down ready as well, get that fixed up and adjusted to fit in there. Yeah, it's just lots of little jobs. Yeah? What? Lots of little jobs to get done. I'm not going to do anything too mad today because moving about is a bit painful. I have put my big Brave Boy pants on today, so I'm going to try not to complain about it too much. But you know, I might complain about it a little bit. So even though it was my own fault and I got no one else to blame and stuff, yeah. Okay, great. There's a lot of bulleting going on in there. Actually, it's not too bad. I thought operating the pedals in here were going to be pretty painful. It's uncomfortable, but it is quite bearable. So far, no painkillers. I'm not taking any paracetamol or anything yet. The way I look at it, it's about as far away from my head as I can get it. It's a long way for the pain to travel, so it shouldn't be too bad. That's farmer logic. Let's have you back a bit first. This is when a cab gets full of hay, bit of wind. Come on, you lot half-starved creatures. Come on. Go on, you can go out as well. Go on. Okay. Well, while they're busy out there, I can get cracking in there. I have my trusty fork. Let's get rid of that first. I could just give it to him, couldn't I? Here, look. Oh, dropped it. Throw it down well anyway. How's that? Oh yeah. I'll give you the other one as well. Well, it's not getting wasted, is it? You know. Ow. I think that's made them happy for a minute. That's quite a lot softer than the big bales. I've done my shoulder now. God, I seem to be nothing to hurt myself this last week. Okay, so, well, that wants a bit of a refresh in there, so I think the easiest thing for me to do is just to throw this out there, and then I can pick it up with a skid steer. So, well, the intentions were good. I started out all right. It's become a bit uncomfortable, so I think I'm going to go to plan B. After all, isn't that why we have machines? To make life easier? Spoke can come off and bucket can come on. It didn't take a long to polish that lot off, did it? Can I reach that? Oh. A little treat for her, wasn't it? And it saves chucking it on the floor somewhere. Do you remember I was asked you to go and look up Charlotte the other day, Charlotte Ashley, and it's not just because I enjoy your content and I enjoy her humour, and her love of the animals, but it's also, they have the same kind of thinking as me with the skid steer. Their farm is way bigger than me, far bigger enterprise than me, but they still use a skid steer. And the reason for that is because they're brilliant. This is so much easier than a pitchfork. Watch out for that. So much easier. In fact, I go so far as to say it's pretty much effortless. I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to clean these out, put them back together. I'm not going to muck that out yet. There's actually quite a bit of stuff in there the cattle can pick over, and they'll come in and pick over that. So I'll give them an hour back here once I've cleaned this out, and then I'll muck this lot out and give them a new bed this afternoon. That's a plan. I got a funny feeling our feral pigeons are coming back. That's twice I'm sure I've heard one. He's probably up on the roof, chatting her up. And she's probably there up there because it's a pigeon and they're always flipping gagging for it. Yeah, we'll have little pigeons again here before long. Oh, no. Oh, I'll tell you what. If that one won't go that way, this one will go that way. Just temporarily. So these are big old heavy gates. I've got this from Stock Fence UK, Edward. It's good stuff. It is heavy, and with a dodgy shoulder and a poorly toe, it's not easy, but they're not getting out of here. They're not escaping here, and even if something is angry and aggressive, I feel perfectly safe on this side of this, well, providing they're on that side. Yeah, good stuff. Let's have you from the top this time, shall we? Just for a change. So this is, just to remind you, this isn't a calving thing or a thing. This hasn't got to be uber hygienic. This is literally somewhere that we can bring the calves in tomorrow. We can set up the head crush. We can do the castration and dehorning. Dehorning involves a big bottle of gas and an extremely hot flame. So this is really fire prevention. More than anything else, I'm preventing the barn catching fire doing this. Okay, just so you know. That way. That way. We're getting there. Pin. I wonder. Oh, I'm getting there. Brute force and ignorance does work sometimes. All right. I need to shove it all that way about 2 inches. Because there was an RSJ anyway. Okay, done. Workers, pause for a second. Mrs. P's car is back. Got to go and sign some bits of paper. Right, that's Mrs. P's car sorted out. Now, I think I'm going to put you up here because, actually I'll go and sort that gate out first and then I'll put you up here and then you can see the shenanigans when they come in and find that. Everybody all right in there? Hello sweetheart, you all right? Hello mate. Everyone's happy in there. Right, this is only a temporary thing. This will come down again tomorrow, but it's one of those things, if I don't pin it up, they'll knock it down. And then something will have a blinking broken leg or something, so might just as well leave it secure, aren't we? There you go. That's not going anywhere. Watch this space.
Feel good, I can't help but feel fine. Everything is in its place and everything is mine. I can't help but feel good, I can't help but feel fine. Everything is in its place and all of it is mine. Ooh, I can't help but smile. Reinventing myself, I'm me and nobody else. I'm reinventing myself, I'm me and nobody else. Ooh, I can't help but smile. Ooh, I can't help but smile.
Do you know what? It actually seems to have worked. Ish, for once. I couldn't have done that this morning. Well, I would, but I would have probably squeaked. So I spent most of the day, I've been out, done some work on the farm, been out and done some tree work quotes. Pretty much spent most of the day ignoring that. okay? Just ignoring it. It squeaks at me occasionally and reminds me regularly, but I've just ignored it. And I think it's given up. Now that's a strategy that doesn't usually work very well. Usually I hurt myself or do something stupid and I try and ignore it, hoping it's going to go away, and it doesn't. It stays there and just spends the day reminding me that, you know, I can't ignore it. So I'm beginning to think that I haven't broken my toe. So I may have been a little bit over dramatic to begin with. I think it's just, well, it's definitely badly bruised. So if you follow my Instagram or Facebook, I put up a lovely photograph of my foot, flaky toes and everything, with a big black little toe. So you know, it definitely hurts, but I have pretty much said, not talking to you, not listening, la 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 la, all that kind of stuff. And this afternoon, it feels better. I was thinking I was gonna struggle, but yeah, I'm all right. So I forgot Land Rover keys, bugger. Right, I'll come back to that. Don't judge me, okay? I didn't have any dinner. This is just tiding me over. If it's a small one, it's just little. It's tiding me over for an hour. They're really bad for me. Right, okay, so down the barn, they've levelled that out a little bit. I had intended to come in here and muck this out this afternoon, but they're so happy. They got up now. There was 3 of them led on top of that lump area. They're so happy in there with those lumps. The vet's not coming until late morning tomorrow, so I've got time, I reckon, to do this. It hasn't got to be done tonight. If it had been raining and it was wet, yes, I would, but it's dry. Haven't got to do it tonight. So I might just not do this tonight. I might, if I get down here and think it's too dirty, but right now, it's not too dirty. So yeah, I might muck this out tomorrow. Mañana, you know, what was it Carol said? Oh, I leave everything to tomorrow. Well, yeah, I might leave that to tomorrow because it doesn't actually need doing today. And they're just really happy in there. Anyway, I've got to go and deliver a bag of logs. Before we go on, can I just say, I watched Charlotte's video this morning. Thank you for the little shout out, and you're more than welcome. And she was talking about, one of the things she was talking about was the drugs and the care and the stuff they need for the animals because they got some deficiencies, iodine deficiency in the soil. Luckily, touch wood, we don't have copper is our thing. We're a little bit deficiency in copper, but anyway, the nub of the thing was where she was saying that they could possibly have found out sooner if they'd talked about it and asked and got someone else's opinion. And she was absolutely spot on. I mean, this is quite possibly the same in all sorts of different industries, but in the farming industry that I know, farmers hate to appear ignorant, especially when it comes to livestock. We hate for anybody to think that we're not doing a good job, that we don't know what we're talking about, that we don't know what we're doing. And to some, even to ask for an opinion or a bit of help or a bit of guidance. So many, it just feels like a weakness and something they should be ashamed of. Can I assure you, anybody out there who keeps livestock and stuff like that, and the stuff's not going quite how you want, there is absolutely no shame in it. In fact, I would have the deepest respect for anybody who asked my opinion on something, even if I didn't know the answer. The fact that you care enough about your business and your livestock and your livelihood and everything else, the fact that you care enough to get over the fact that you think it's embarrassing or belittling or whatever you want to call it, that you would still do it, you still ask. You know, I would have far more respect for somebody who is willing to go, I don't know. I don't know. And you know what? It doesn't matter what subject you specialise in doing, none of you know. None of you know until you either ask or somebody tells you. And they will not teach you. If you go to agricultural college or you go to whatever university or something, you will not learn everything and anything. There will be things you're going to come out into the big wide world and you're not going to know. And you can either pretend to know and live with your ignorance, and an animal might suffer, or your land or your business might suffer because you're too proud or too frightened to ask. So Charlotte, thank you for that. I'll completely agree and repeat everything you said. Ask. Okay, especially if you've got problems with your livestock and you don't know, just ask. There is no shame in it. Okay, and like I said, I would have 10 times more respect for somebody who goes and asks, gets the right advice, sorts the problem, and then has that information to guide somebody else later on when they ask. Okay, that's just how it works. We all help each other out. This isn't a competition between my cattle look better than your cattle, or my sheep are healthier than your sheep, or for whatever reason, or it's, if stuff's suffering and you can see somebody who's doing really well, especially local, and if they know something about the ground or deficiencies or anything else that you might not, just ask. Okay? No shame. None. Not a iota of shame. Ask. Okay, right. So, I don't know, that was 3 minutes, so it's half as much as Charlotte's. But you know what? No, it wasn't, because she was telling you all about the drugs as well. But it's true, okay? That's how we learn. It's not, we're not born knowing this stuff. What am I going that way for? I want to go that way. The skid steer's down there. We're not born with all this information. We have to learn it. And if somebody doesn't come up and volunteer to tell us, then we have to ask. You know, it's like asking directions somewhere. If you haven't got a sat nav or a map, do you wander around blindlessly and aimlessly until you run out of fuel, hoping you're going to find it? Or do you stop and ask? I blame social media for a lot of this. Mobile technology, and of course COVID didn't help, because people stopped or forgot how to communicate, how to talk, how to actually stop and have a chat with somebody. I actually called in to a friend today when I was out and about that I haven't seen for years. I was thinking about it this morning, she goes, I haven't seen this couple, quite good friends of ours, not seen them for years. So Amy and Anthony, you know what I'm talking about. I've been now invited to go and spend the Saturday afternoon drinking tea and eating cake with them, and I'm going to take that invitation up. I'm going to go. Start a conversation. If you don't want to go out and just straight ask somebody, oh, what do you think about this? Just bring it up in conversation, you know. There's ways and means. I wonder if I can get you up there. You're in a little bit of an angle up there, aren't you? If I come in at a slight angle, I should be able to pitch you in there. Should. Right, Joe, I think he's done it. Tip this bag of logs out into the Land Rover the same as I did for my dad, mainly because this is going to a young woman's house and she's got a very low roof for me to tip into, and if I take him out of the bag I could just get it a bit further back into her woodshed. It's a bit less work for her, so yeah, that's what we're going to try and do. make a little bit of a clatter, all right? And go on, and so, if you use the pallet to move the bag, you don't rip the bag as easily. Okay. This bag is doomed. See, our new bags have got loops on the bottom, so I can turn it over, grab the loop on the bottom, pull the bag off. Our old bags don't have that, so I'm having to fiddle faff around with it. This is all down to me being lazy because I can't be bothered to get out of here, and try and do it by hand. Mind you, I reckon it'd hurt my toe, so that's a pretty good excuse. Up and over. Right. That's what we were looking for. Just needed to grab the bag. Ooh. Right. Have we made our minds up yet? Where is she? Is it going to be Annie or Elsa? Because that was the two choices we had for a name for a little, what is currently known as 195, who's out there somewhere. Oh yeah, I told you I was going to clean that all out. I'll show you. So that's what I did earlier. Didn't do it on camera because, well, I got stuck into the job and couldn't bother. So cleaned out that. Put a bit of Polden Vale stuff in here. This is actually sheep hurdler stuff. The head crush is in, the O'Neill head crush. There you are, a little plug for them. This thing, brilliant, okay? Takes up no space at all when you're not using it, but for dehorning and basically restraint. If you want to restrain a ram, if you want to trim or a calf or anything, you want to restrain it, keep it secure, keep it safe, and keep you safe. This thing is brilliant, okay? Locks to where you want to go, locks down there when you want to go, nose strap there if you need it. You don't have to keep the nose strap on, little pull thing there and that will actually drop off It's Abby talked me into buying this. She wanted it for her sheep, which is fair enough. But it is made, it'll do sheep, but it will also do young cattle, young calves. And for stuff that size, this we found last year, we actually bought a proper calf crush. A little, it was 900 quid I think it was, for the calf crush, an IAE calf crush. And that crush was not as good as that. So yeah, so I show you again. So Irish, they make some blooming good stuff over there, you know. Yeah, if you've got a few cattle about and you've got some, I think it was about 340 quid. So it's not cheap, but brilliant. Yeah, highly recommended. It's still looking clean-ish, you know, not as clean as that, but clean-ish. Still not found anything to compete with the skid steer for around the farm here. Not yet. So I'm hoping that the JCB footage, the little 304, sorry. 304? The little JCB. I'm hoping we're going to get that back. But yeah, the nub of that was, I still preferred the skid steer. I know I'm wired up for a skid steer and I'm kind of biased, but if somebody offered me both machines brand new, well, if I could keep the old skid steer, I might have the other one just because I've got two, best of both worlds. But if I only had to have one machine, I'd still, right now, be going with the skid steer. Right, before you blow away, put you under there. Somebody said to me the other day, I can't remember who it was, that, you know, drivers are being stopped for logs, loads of logs like this. I'm assuming the fuzz think that they're going to fall out of there somehow. Well, I suppose if I went over a speed bump at 90 miles an hour, I could possibly lose a couple, or round the corner and tipped it over, I could lose a couple. It's possible. Yeah, I don't know. Again, world's gone mad of health. Do you remember years ago the coal man used to drive around with his lorry with the bags just perched on the side of it? It was a flatbed, didn't even have sides on it. Flatbed lorry, and he'd just go along and just drive around with the bags. Did they ever fall off? Well, the answer to that probably is they did a few times, but then nobody had mobile phones and cameras and everything else and reported it, so nobody cared. Oh, okay. I'm being looked at. Do you want to come with me, Biscuit? Hey, is that what you'll say? Come on, Em. Yeah, wouldn't dream of going without you. How dare I? It turns out the thing I am most famous for, it appears, is driving around the skid steer with a dog on my shoulder. That's what I'm most famous for. So, I don't know if I should be flattered about that or kind of really, because if I didn't have a dog on my shoulder, I'd not be.